Hey guys, it's Ed again. Well, I started digging into it. I couldn't help myself. I was just going to take and park it out back and put a tarp over it, and someday when I got bored I would pull it in and dink around with it. Well, guess what? I guess I got bored. Actually, we've got contractors in working on the kitchen, and they've got it tore all to hell, so I'm staying out of there. And I figured I'd come out here and work on this. Well, here's where we're at. It's still seized up, but I think we've got the ability to get this apart. This here is a Lug Bolt. As you can tell, it's getting pretty stripped out from a Volkswagen, and it has the exact correct thread to thread into that. So guys, if you got a Volkswagen Bug, you know, 70s, late 60s, 70s vintage, that bolt works. So the only thing is the threads are all mucked up on it. But I'm going to try using that to turn the crank. I think it's going to have a little more bite. And worst case scenario is it's going to pop the flywheel out, which that's not a bad thing either. So I used the bolt technique, and you guys can see it worked good at pulling the flywheel out, but that's not exactly where we wanted to go. So well, I guess we're going to try to take this cover off. I don't know if you guys have got an impact driver, but I tell you what, if you work on old bikes, you got to have one. And then even sometimes they're a little tough, especially when you don't have room enough to twist on it. And the other thing is you got to use the right bit. You can't use a number 2 screwdriver. It's not going to work. They actually make a bit. It's called a crown bit. It looks just like a Phillips, but I've got one downstairs that's an old Craftsman, and you can tell I've hooked the vice grips on it before I had one of these. So there we go. And then once you get that loose, you can use your number 2 to finish them off. You just got to get them broke free. Not sure if this has to come out or not. I think that holds the... Keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Before you know it, I'll have the head off it. One of my subscribers mentioned that he did one of these and put a, I think it's Mike at Mike's Mini Bikes, or Mini Bike and Dirt Bike. He's pretty cool. He's building a subscriber's choice bike right now. I put in for the, I think it was an XL 75, but the subscribers chose a CT70 maybe, I think they're working on. So but yeah, he put a 200cc Leaf-On or Lift-On engine on his, and I guess it worked pretty well. So little tap tap tap. Might have to pull the key out of it so we don't destroy the... I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Bring it down a little bit. You guys can see in there the keyway is still in there, the Woodruff key. And I think that's causing us to bind up a little bit. So let's see if we can... Actually, looks like that might come off. Looks like it's separate or something. It's weird. Well, we may have an issue with the chain too. See, this bike here has electric start also. So I think we may have to pull that clip off, you guys can see, and then slide the sprocket, and then the whole unit maybe will come off. Should we go get the pliers, or should we do it old school style? I'm game for old school. We may have to at least get the needle nose pliers. Okay. Well, we got the clip off, but I can't still get this. There it goes. Now let's see if there's anything else holding this thing on here besides those wires. Let's get this bolt out of here. That seal was right there. Pop that back in. Ooh. What do you guys think about that? Pretty cool, eh? It's kind of a cool tensioner. Tensioner comes down. Let me back you guys up a little bit. Tensioner comes down, applies pressure over here, tensions the timing chain. That's some nasty stuff. So I don't usually like to clamp anything on to the end of the shaft, but I may have to. I think the transmission is okay. I don't think it's seized up in there. I think it's just seized in the pistons. Continue on. Okay guys, we're going to make up a little juice here. What I use for cylinder braking is quite the conglomeration of crap. So I use brake fluid, automatic transmission fluid, and kerosene usually. Didn't have any kerosene, so we're going to try something a little different. This is our Mountain Dew bottle, and we've got some lacquer thinner, standard lacquer thinner, and we've got an old can of naphtha laying around. So let's see if we can make a Molotov cocktail. What do you think? Let's add a little bit of this. Hey, you want to use a funnel? I think I got one here. Look at this. Professional. Wish it was a little lower so it doesn't knock over. But whatever. So, a little shot of this. That looks good. Not sure how much that is. Probably about 3 shots if you go from an alcoholic point of view. How about a little bit of lacquer thinner? About the same amount. Another 2-3 shots of that. A little tranny fluid for color. And now, the piece of la resistance, the brake fluid. Brake fluid is very corrosive and usually will eat through just about anything. So we'll put a lot of that in there. We'll see if this bottle starts dripping out at any moment from what we've created. So, here it is. Shaken, not stirred. I think it looks pretty cool. So what I've done here is I've been monkeying around with it. I can't get it to turn. I've tried everything. I've sprayed down the cylinders, but they leak. So every time you go to try to put more juice in, they keep leaking out. So I'll show you what I did. Okay, what I've done here is I've got some pieces of rubber. I don't know where I got it. It's like rubber hose. It has a very small hole in it, but it's about 1 inch on the outside, but it's rubber, as you can see. And I kind of drive them right up in the cylinders. You can see I got that right up in there pretty good. I beveled the edge a little bit. And now what we'll do is we'll put a little bit of this in there and see what we come up with. Now, there's a trick to this too. I'll show you that. Okay, up here on the shelf, right up there, see that bottle? That's 80/90. It used to have this top on it, but it fits nicely right on your soda bottle. So let's see if we can get a little juice down in here. Not the prettiest, but I think we got it in there. This cylinder's tough because this cylinder is a lot deeper than the other one is, but it looks like it's flush right across. I'm going to squeeze a little bit down the carb too. Come out the other side. Not sure where that's leaking out through. Maybe it's coming out the plug hole on the other side. So that could be it. Let's go put a squirt on the other side and see what we get. You guys can see this one's a lot closer. And it's still dripping over here, I think, a little bit. But that could be where it ran down around the cylinder too. So I think we'll let that set in there for a little while. As you can see, I got the carburetor off, got the float out. That actually wasn't stuck too bad. Like the Kickstarter, I was wondering where the brake lever went. They must have decided that this front brake lever, and this of course is broken back in there, so we'll have to do some work and make a piece for that. What I normally do is I drill them out. There's quite a bit of spline in there. I think there's enough spline, but I drill it out and then put a screw in it and draw it on with a screw. So, but yeah, the brake lever goes up here somewhere. Right there. So that's where they put the brake lever. Well, it's about 10 hours later of having my mix sitting in the cylinders, and she's not moving. I tried, this is my combination mix of brake fluid, tranny fluid, and I had a little naphtha paint thinner basically. I put that in there, and mineral spirits to try to break it free, and she's not coming free. So we're going to drop the motor. I noticed the upper bolt is already out. I did remove this bolt at one point to get that apart. This I can leave the way it is for now, and we'll put that back together when we probably take it downstairs. I already got that one bike on the lift down there, but at least we'll be able to take this out. I'm going to take the seat off because the seat here is in pretty decent shape, really. So I think we'll try to, you can see the blue metallic in it. I don't know if it would have had that bumper car, you know, finish, but you can see the metallic, pretty cool. I mean, I think it would, because it's got the stripe on it and everything. That seat's not in bad shape. It's got some holes in it, but I'm going to try to treat it, see if I can soften the vinyl up. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Anyway, so let's get this thing pulled down, get it taken apart. Let's figure out what the deal is with this screw here. And there's one down here we got to get to. So, see if I can get you anywhere in the near the shot. Sort of close. So, no idea what size it is, but it looks bigger. Let's see, is it a 14 mil? No, bigger than that. See what we got. Oh, here's one. So these are not through bolts. They actually have a nut on the back side. So you'd think they'd be through bolts. And there's absolutely no room to get in here. Let's see if we can just... God, they're tight. That's for sure. There's a hose down here rolling around. It feels pretty loose. You think these are American bolts somebody stuck in here. Not positive, but I think so. I'm going to grab a different socket. Don't like this one. Okay, we're going to try our new Harbor Freight Extendable 3/8 ratchet. Like its brother, the half-inch version has worked good for me so far, so let's see if we can get this thing loose. Well, that wasn't my arm, but I tell you what, it was tight. Well, no, they're standard metric bolts, so I thought maybe they were something crazy somebody shoved in there, but and I'd almost say that bolt, as tight as they were, they may have never been out. I think maybe they started taking it apart and then decided that it was going to be too much work. So I'm going to go over to the other side and do the same thing. I'm not moving you. Well, you guys missed that one. I shut the camera off to do the other bolt on the other side and the whole engine dropped out. So I guess that's one way of getting it out. So let's see here, what else we got hooked up. We got some wires here that probably need to be disconnected at some point. I don't really want to cut them, but they're plugged in up here, it seems to be, some of them. See if we can unplug some of these. Huh. Well, there's one. Green one to blue one. So the green went to the blue. That makes no sense. This one was disconnected already. The red one. I got a brown. And where the heck does that one go? Going into something up here. I don't know if that came out or if it broke off. Oh no, it came out. There we go. Well, they all unplugged. Hopefully I'll figure out which way they go back in again. It's a plug wire. Throttle's hanging out. All the juice that I dumped in it is coming out. What else we got here? It looks like a hose coming down here on the bottom of the motor. Not really sure what the theory is behind that, but I'll try to get that out of there. Actually, it might be a wire. It feels almost like a... That's kind of weird. It can't be a wire. It is. It's a hard... It's that one right there. I don't know if you guys can see that one. But... And it's going up. You know what it is? It's a starter wire. That's what it is, and it just kind of goes through there. So let's disconnect it up here on the solenoid maybe, and then we can yank it out of here. I can't see nothing in here. Sorry guys, I can't take you in the hole, but I don't think there's an easier way to figure this out, is there? Doesn't look to be. Get the seat off it. There's a couple bolts here, a couple 10 mil. What do you think we take those off? Maybe that whole solenoid will fall out. Try that. Now they got the solenoid kind of down. So let's try picking up some of these bolts, nuts and washers and all the pieces and parts. Put those in the cup. Some of these go to this. Some of them I used for just moving stuff around. If I can get to that one, right there, I think we can do it. There goes the washer. Okay. That wire is off. Okay. I'm going to back you guys up a little. Okay. Put you over here. Let's see if we can bring you up a little bit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take it from here, we're going to put it over here. And then we'll know we got it all. Move some more junk. Okay. That's free. It's free. Tell you what, it's kind of heavy. Okay. Throw a rag in here to soak up some of the juice that ran out of it last night. And the mud that come out of it. A lot of mud. Okay guys, I'll bring you back when we get it downstairs. Okay guys, we got a little ways farther into it. I've took off this cover, which was kind of interesting. It had a metal plate in here that went in, something to that effect, and then almost like a diaphragm up here. So kind of interesting. You can see the gasketing material. Not sure what the theory was behind that back in 1966. I also got the side cover off over here. You guys can see maybe that I got this cover off, which is quite the thing too. It's got two orifices here, and I think it provides maybe a bearing for the cam to run into, and an oiler is what I'm thinking, to oil the end of the cam. Not sure though. Never tore into one of these before, so. I would like to thank Kevy Kev, one of my subscribers, for uploading a book for me. Very useful information. So thanks again, man, for doing that, if you're watching this. So let's get the cam chain off it, and we'll go from there. Of course, I did a little boo-boo on it. You guys see in there what I did? I broke one off, but that's no big deal. We'll get that fixed up pretty easy. So let's see if we can get that off. Should we hit it with the impact, or should we hit it with a wrench first? See if we can break it. Well, they came off. So now we should be able to pop that loose. I want to put these bolts in a bag. I'm kind of keeping track again, like I did with the XR75, but that was all torn apart to begin with. So, or in the Evinrude. Oh, the old Evinrude. Yeah, I know you guys still want to see that run. Me too. Cam sprocket. Sprocket. Can't spell today. Can't write today. So that goes over there. Let's see if we can probably loosen up this cam a little bit. See if we can find a wrench. Might loosen this up a little. 17 millimeters seems to be the magic number on this motor, by the way, if anybody wants to know. 17 mil seems to fit everything. So, not sure how. There it goes. That should back out. Relieve some tension on that cam. Didn't seem to, but it should. Let's see if we can get her loose. I got a tool for this somewhere I made. It's a hooked screwdriver, but when in doubt, let's see what we can do with this. Maybe we'll make up a little hook tool. What do you think? Something that we can smash on a little bit. This chainsaw screwdriver might donate itself well to it. It's got a nice handle on it. Let's see if it'll fold without breaking. Getting closer. Now, of course, you guys missed it, but my little tool worked. Popped it off. Now all we gotta do is get the chain up and over. If I was smart, I'd tie something to it, but I'm not that smart. Don't plan on moving the crank, but we'll have to retime it anyway. Still a little snug in there. Come on, baby. Jump up out of there. Getting closer. There she comes. There we go. That's out. You can drop that back down in there a little. Oh, that's not good. You can see how there's, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's two studs here that looks like they should be challenging. See this? I was thinking this would drop right down through, but it doesn't seem to do that. How would you pull the head off it then? If this doesn't, I like the idea that it doesn't drop down in though. That's kind of a neat idea, but we kind of need it to drop down by so we can, you don't think it uses like a master link in it, do you? That'd be just silliness. I mean, I suppose it would almost drop far enough by that you could pull it all out. Let's look at that quick. Maybe that slides out. No, does not seem to slide out. It's on that cam gear pretty good. There's probably enough there to clear though. Not sure what that bolt does. Does something probably. You can take it off and see. It's probably that 17 mil again. What did I do with it? Let me put you back on the stand again. Let's pull that bolt out and see if there's something crazy going on there. So, smaller than that one. Let's try this one. Nice and tight. That's trying to strip. Son of a gun. That ain't good. That's fine. I need a 6-point. Hammer that in there. That's a 6-point, so hopefully maybe we can get it with that. Got it. Should come out hard though. I wonder what's in there. I have to go see. Sounds like rubber. Yeah, it's got an O-ring on it. Ooh. That's probably not a good thing. Whatever it was, it fell out. I can touch it with my finger. I'm thinking I'm going to put the bolt right back in that. I'm not sure what that does. It's got to be a guide of some sort that keeps that chain apart. But you know what? Look at that. Here, I'll show you guys something. You guys probably know all this, but I am learning as I go. Check that out. Can you guys see that? I'll get you down here a little closer. This son of a gun's got a master link in it. So we'll just pull the master link, let the chain drop down, pop the head off. Cool beanage. So, well, that actually worked a lot easier than I thought it was going to come off there. Popped right off pretty good. So let's get it off the rest of the way without breaking it. Kind of stuck in there a little bit. Where'd it go? Come on, baby. Get after there we go. Did I get it? No, still there. There. We got her that time. Dropping stuff, but we got her. We'll put that in. I know where that goes. That's pretty common sense. Cool. Let's get this half link out. Drop that. Let's get this link out too while we're at it. Get that out of there. So now we should be able to drop this chain right back into the base. Good enough. Out of the way. And I didn't tighten that up, but I did put it back in, whatever it was in there. I think we're going to leave the cylinder bolts on. This thing should slide off, I think. I should probably look at that book that Kev sent to me, but you know what? It's more fun just trying to break stuff and figure it out, right? So the valves shouldn't need any adjustment or anything to get out of there. These are going into the head, I think. Actually, yeah, they're coming up out of the head. I don't think there should be any issues there. Let's look in the hole. Let's look in here and see if there's anything that we need to get rid of. Using the light a little bit. See if you guys can see anything in there. I know my light is crooked with my camera, but I'm not seeing anything that looks like it's got to come out of there. I know I overshot you guys, but that's okay. We're good. Okay, guys. We're going to see what we get. Oh, well, the battery's dead. Okay, guys. I think we got her all cleared out. Battery died, so I had to get a fresh one of those. And let's try prying this head off. See if there's... I mean, it's on there tight. Kind of scared. I just want to make sure there's no bolts down in here that are holding that on when I get prying on it. So, and this should come up off there. So let's try not to break a stud. Ooh, I think I saw movement. Not sure. It might be a delusional. No, we got movement. A little bit. A little bit of movement. Not sure. Little by little. Adds more suspense, right, guys? More suspense if we take more time getting it off. Kind of like foreplay. I didn't say that though. Talk to my wife. Oh shit. Come on. It's coming. Slow. We have to get a couple bars under it here. See if we can rock and roll it. All the mud and dirt underneath it. There she goes. Okay, you guys ready for the unveiling? You in a good spot? Can you see? Sorta? Okay. The gasket is trying to come off in pieces. There it is. What do you think, guys? Well, they're there. They're wet. They're pistons. Think the beating will work? I doubt it. I wish they were down in the cylinders a little more. Actually, because you have all that piston that's seized in there, you know, because it's right in the flat spot. But let's find a block of wood. I'll be back. I want to find a piece of hardwood. I ain't beating on it with no piece of pine. Okay, guys. Looks like it's hammer time. No, and I'm not going to break out my parachute pants either. So we'll try it with this little hammer. I got a piece of oak here I cut. See if we can get any movement. Try it this way. It almost looks like it left a little greasy spot there. That wouldn't have been enough to do it. Ooh. I think that one's loose. Hear the noise? I think that one's got a little bit of movement in it. I think this is the one that's seized worse. You can actually see a little bit of gap around it. I'm just going to put a little oil around this one. That's what I got. It's actually 2-stroke oil. Maybe it'll seep in a little bit on that one. That one I think is our stucky stuck right there. I think that one's loose. So but we'll drive on this one a little. It'll push up on it, hopefully. I'll get this set up on something. Maybe get it a little more straight up and down. Let's see what we got here. Now you guys can't see anything. We'll set you up again. Okay, got you guys set up in a different position. I brought the motor up a little square, so hopefully. But I do believe this one might be moving. But this one over here, not so much. Let's try scraping around it a little bit, see if we can get a line on it. See if we can figure out where it might, if it moves. Gives us a baseline of reference. I mean, it's right tight against the cylinders over here, so there's absolutely no movement. Which kind of sucks. So we could go get a bigger hammer. That might work. Almost hit the light. I don't know. She is tight. Yeah. Yeah, even with putting fluid in it, we would have never got it loose with these pistons setting up like this. There just isn't any way good for the cylinder to, or for the juice to sit on the cylinder. So, I mean, I'm thinking about taking off the bolts here and removing the cylinder. I don't know why there's no bolts on this side, just on this side. Must be because of the extra material they're figuring for the cam that they put the bolts on over here. I don't know. I don't know which way I want to go with it. If I want to leave it on so I can hammer on it, or what the plan is. So maybe if we take them off, we can pry it up a little bit. I don't know. Try it. That's all we can do, right? Worst we'll do is mess it up and break it. We can do that. Wouldn't be the first time I've screwed something up. So I'll bring you back after I break something. You'll enjoy it. Okay guys, I couldn't get my fingernail in between there before, and now I'm getting a little bit of fingernail. I think I got it moving. I really do. I'm not positive, but I think I'm positive. Let's get some more juice in here. I'm going to run out and grab some PB Blaster. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. Okay, so what I've done here is I've cut a little curvature on the bandsaw, trying to match the curve of this piston a little bit. And it's just the size to get in there and push on the outside edge of the piston more than on the inside. So hopefully, and I picked up a big hammer, and I PB Blastered it, and I brought my automatic transmission fluid. So let's see what happens. Well, we split it. It didn't take long. Keep sliding off. I mean, I'm definitely getting some movement. I wish I knew if these pistons go up together. I almost think they do. I don't think they're triangle, alternate, which that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I know some of these old bikes were like that, so maybe these pistons go down together. I think one would come up and one would go down. Not much yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're moving, but I'd almost say they're moving both down, which is kind of odd. So I did loosen this up a little bit. I'm not sure it's a good idea to pry up on it or not, but I'm not sure which way to go. There's really nothing to get under here with. Even if you wanted to get it off and you didn't have to fight the pistons, you'd be battling to begin with. Maybe what we'll do is use patience. Yeah, I know I don't have any. We'll let it set for a little while. Now that I got a little bit of a dent here, I should be able to fill that surface up. That looks pretty good. I have to jig it up a little higher. Keep it kind of level in there. See if it'll run down in there. I mean, I think we definitely did get movement, so that's a good thing. that we can, you know, because that before I couldn't even get a screwdriver to catch, and now I'm catching a screwdriver or my fingernail pretty good. There's probably a solid 1/16 of an inch there that I've knocked it down. And the same thing kind of over on this side. So I think have some patience, Ed, and just let it set. So anyway, guys, that's probably a good spot to stop this video. And I want to thank everybody for watching and commenting. I want to thank Kevy Kev again for that book, which it looks like I think I'm going to need it. So again, bye.